welcome back. This is Flosstube number 7. Today is June 7th. I'm Fawn.
I'm Marianne.
And this is Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. We are so blown away by how much you loved our last episode. My husband, Sean, was a huge hit, and so we've decided that he will get to come on once a month and share a little bit of his progress. I asked him today if he wanted to come on, and he was like, oh, no. I only got like 4 stitches in my owl. I can't show it yet. Like, I have to wait until I have a 10. A month for you. So I hope you continue to like that. I know he was really excited to read your comments and to see how many views that we were getting. And so it was super exciting for him to join us and to feel included. So thank you for making him feel so included. I think we have quite a bit today. I know I have some vintage for once, which is really exciting. And I have an announcement for a stitch along that I found that hasn't started yet. So I'm going to share about that. And I know I have a finish. I have a new start. Got some haul. And how about you, Marianne? You got a lot of exciting stuff today?
I decided that I'm going to put myself on a schedule for June of trying to work on some of my vintage pieces. I haven't got a haul today because I did all that last week. I'm going to try and get to maybe either Craft Gallery or Timeless Stitches in the next week or so and go up and do some kitting. But I don't have any finishes. I have a little more work on the birds, but with my hand bugging me some, I can only do so much at one time. And I've got a niece down in Georgia that asked me about, do you have any family pictures? Yeah, I've got them all. So I've got this week's a project to get some family photos together for her to send to her, because she's, for some reason, her daddy, my brother, didn't give her any of them, and he sent them all back up here with me. So I'm going to send them all back down to her.
Yeah.
So that's another project. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's the sort of picture keeper in our family. And so when he goes through all the photos, it's like a month-long process. So I totally understand if you don't have stitching done this weekend.
Well, I've got a little bit done. So that's about it. But no haul. I did. I watched Georgia Girl Stitching during the week, and her mama was there. This was the delayed Mother's Day get together. And so her mother was talking about how she started cross stitch when she was in college and things like that. And she said, and I'm getting back into it. And she wanted to, kind of like what Pam and Steph were doing on Just Keep Stitching. She was talking about trying to get a group of stitchers together in Marietta area, which is north of Atlanta. And in the Atlanta, and I thought, aha, good time to mention Embroiderers Guild and possibility of chapters. So I looked up the chapter down there in Atlanta, and actually, because the area is so large, they say they have several small groups that meet. So I copied all that information off of the EGA website, and it's the Dogwood chapter, and sent it to her. And she was Megan was real nice. She sent me back a note last night thanking me for that, and she would pass the word. So hopefully her mama will be able to get in touch with some people that way, or start a group of her own, So there we go.
Yeah, that's cool. On that note, if you're watching this channel and you don't have access to a group that you can stitch with, or a local needlepoint group, let us know, and we can look up your area where EGA chapters are. There's also online chapters, at least one. And so if you're looking for some of that connection, let us know, and we're more than happy to give you our resources and help you along.
And our group does a Thursday stitch in, and you don't have to belong to, we're happy to let people that want to try out being with a group to join us. We do a Zoom, and if you let me know through here that you might be interested, I can certainly have you. We'd be glad to have somebody join us on a Thursday. We do have absolutely non-members in our group too. So there you go, a Thursday stitch in. So thank you.
blast.
And now that's our promo for the week.
Yes. Now we'll move on. We'll get to the
Right.
good stuff. So do you have a work in progress for this week?
I do have I worked some more on the birds, the banner. Let me get it. I had it ready kind of, and then I was showing Joe last night. I got the gold all around the bow done.
Oh.
I've gotten some of the leaves done. I finished the Lady Cardinal. She's here she is. She's done.
Wow. That's really coming along.
Yes, thank you. It is coming along. I hope I held that up so people can see. There's the gold work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can get a lot clearer.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I had fun with that. Luckily, I had some extra. And then, like I say, here's the leaves. Here's some of the leaves I got done over this way. And this thing does have different colors that it's just supposed to show you where the coloring is, but when you look at this and look at the pattern too, it can be kind of frustrating. So I worked on it over the weekend and I'm tired of it right now. My hand hurts. So I'm going to put it down for a little while and maybe go back to Lane's. But I'm sorry, to the lady moving. And then I've got some ideas for my June progress here.
Ooh.
That we can talk about later.
Yeah. So I have one work in progress, and this is my Grimm's Fairytale. So at the beginning of every month, the new pattern comes out, and I don't have a picture to show you because I only have the chart, but I will try to describe what's supposed to be there. So this month, it is the Pied Piper from Grimm's Fairytale. So all that I have gotten done, because I started cross-stitching and then realized how much I like canvas and pouted because I didn't want to work on this. I wanted to start my new canvas piece. And so I started my new canvas piece. So I'm going to go camping in a couple of weeks, and I'm not going to bring canvas. I'm going to bring cross-stitch. So I'm hoping to get this done on our camping trip. So all that I did right now was the U and the start of the P. And so once was already stitched. So it'll say once upon a time. And then it'll have the man, the Pied Piper with the pipe. And then following behind him is, I think, 3 mice and 2 children. And so the mice, they look really cute. So I'm excited to get to them and stitch those here.
Mm-hmm. I see you're using those things that Anne told you about that hold the fabric. How do you like those?
I like them a lot. I was using hair clips before, so this helped.
What are they called?
They're called spool savers, so they're meant to go around spools of thread. I actually had 4 when I came by your house the other day. I had 4 in my purse, and we got to Aldi's, and I still had 4 in my purse. So they were totally meant to come to you, and I forgot. Because I was so excited. I was showing Marianne Pattern Keeper, which I'll talk about with the Shell Maiden. So I have this tablet that I marched up to her garage with, and I was just so using the tablet that I forgot to give her present.
Well, if it's any consolation, I forgot to give you the needle minder that I've got for you. It's here in this bag somewhere. So we'll just have to do it again sometime.
Darn. Have to come over and visit once more.
Yeah. She comes and visits outside, y'all. She's really sweet about that. We do our social distancing, and it's good to get to see her and Sean. So
yeah, absolutely. So that was the only work in progress that I have. The rest of mine is new start, finish, and haul. So do you want to do? You don't have a finish, right?
No, but I do have a new start.
All right, let's go.
That I haven't started. I want to do it. I decided, I've shown y'all this before, the Honeybee Hill. I showed you this a couple of weeks ago, I think. I want to go on and have a new start. So I've got the linen, I've got the box that it's going to be the top for.
Where did you find the box?
I got it down at Craft Gallery, and if
Okay.
they don't have the size that you need, this is a, let's see here now. Hold on, let me get even more organized. This is, well, I know it tells you where to put it on the box. It's about an 8-inch across box, because this is going to be 7 3/4 by 7 1/8.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes a good size. And oh, here it is, 8-inch sewing box. I knew I had it down here. Some 8-inch sewing box. There's no pattern here. 8-inch sewing box, and you use Simply Shaker and Gentle Arts threads. So there they are.
Nice.
All these colors that really, they're that old-fashioned looking color, which, because I'm usually like, you can see the yellow wall behind me. I like yellow, I like green, I like coral, I like turquoise, all that. But for some reason, when I'm doing these blackbird designs, I just love them. But yeah, they had this color down there. And they can order you, if you want, say, a black one instead. They have some of those too, but they had that. So I just went on and bought that.
I would probably definitely get the black one.
Yeah, so I thought, and the linen is not, it's not quite as light as this one is on here. This is Weeks parchment. This is the small piece. I've got a larger piece, but it's that Weeks dyed. I mean, it's hand, it's got pretty clear. It's a Weeks parchment. And this is 30 count. So I thought, well, maybe I can start this and I can put it on, I can use a, my little stand I have, not the big stand, but the small one that I can put a hoop on. And that way I can just use my hands without having to hold something too. So.
Are you going to over 1 or over 2?
Well, let's see, young lady. I think it's an over, let's see what the pattern calls for. Cross stitch with 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads.
Okay, so it'll be
count. Yeah. And that's the picture.
Yeah, I love the beehives.
Yeah, Honeybee Hill. I just thought that would be fun. So it's actually, this is the piece I'm going to use. It's bigger. And, and one of the ladies in our guild said, you need a bigger piece than that one that you had cut here, because this would have been just probably the whole, see, this would have fit here like so, but it wouldn't give you much room left.
Oh, it'd be hard to finish.
Yeah, because what it's going to be is a cushion that goes kind of like that box I showed y'all a few weeks ago that had the bird on top, that it's just sitting in there. So this, she said, you need more yarn, more thread. I mean, you need more
fabric.
Oh, what the heck, cloth. It's only 11:30 in the morning on Sunday. I don't seem to be able to talk. My husband would say, lucky y'all.
Oh, Joe.
Talk right now, lucky y'all. That would be a new start, because I'm getting frustrated with my other one. So I thought I'd do something, and then I need to work on Lane's piece for a little bit, the moving lady. And I also thought for June, what I could do is, you were telling me you need to get that one out for Lily again, because I was telling you about the Beatrix Potter design.
Yeah.
And you said you need to get that finished. So I wanted to show y'all. This is a Beatrix Potter needlepoint book. And this is what I'm making for Lily. Can you see that?
A little bit of a glare. Try to fold. Kind of.
Well, hold on. Let me take this stuff out of it. Sorry to be messing up the show, y'all. That's about the best I can do. It's a mouse sitting by the fireplace.
Gotcha. Very cool.
And it's a Mrs. Tittlemouse basket lid. I'm not going to give her I don't think I'm going to give her a basket. I think I'm going to put it in the hoop, is what my plan was. So I have that to show y'all. This has been a work in progress. Lily turned 3 the end of March, and I started it right after she was born. So this is how much I have left to go.
Oh, that's
so I need to get it finished. And
I thought that was going to be a little piece.
No, it's a big piece. It's up here I'm not going to loosen it up here. Here's the top part right about here. So, but it's a big piece. Yeah. So I think
that picture is really deceiving.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in a hoop, I think. And that, or who knows, I may keep it for myself. I love Beatrix Potter. I can always make Lily something else.
You make something smaller, all that work.
Yeah, well, all that work. Yeah. And so I thought I'd get working on that again. And then this is a piece that the guild did way back when. It's, you asked, kiddo, look out, here I go. It was a 17th century English style sampler by Ilse Alther, Altherr. And we actually have a notebook, with all the instructions. And I'm trying to see if we have a picture in here. Yeah, here's I should have checked this earlier. I haven't worked on this in years. So I thought, okay, Mom's telling me I better get my act together. This is the pattern, and I don't think I'm allowed to show the pattern so much. So you would think there would be a final picture somewhere so I'd know what I was doing. But I'll show you what I have accomplished. I was working on this back in 2005 after I had some knee surgery. But it's using silk. And it's a real pretty.
Yeah, I love that variegation and the flowers.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And Joe says, are you ever going to finish that? So I thought, well, and it's on linen. And I think this was some of the first linen I had ever done. So I said, okay, I'm going to get this out again because it's so pretty.
How big is it?
Why would you ask me that? Let me see.
Well, because now the
making me work. I'm
it
earning my keep today. Hold on just a minute.
Beatrix Potter, I thought it was small and it was huge. So
yeah, no, well, it's not teeny tiny. Let's see. You're doing a band sampler, layout band. You're going to get me all disconfused here. Phones, I need to be organized, and I think I'm organized, and I'm not. Hold on just a minute.
Oh, that's okay. I was just trying to get a sense of if it was really long.
16 by 30.
Yeah, so that is
16
big.
inches by 30, so it's long, 16 by 30 inches. Accomplishments get Congress cloth. That's what they told us to do. So,
wow. Well, it's
if
wide.
You're using, it's 24 count Congress cloth is 16. If you're using 32 count linen, it's 14.25 by 24 long. And I'm thinking I'm assuming that I'm working on this other because we did it as a guild. So I've got things underlined, and I had a note to myself to get that. So I'm assuming that's what I'm using is the Congress cloth, which is a lot like a linen. So
yeah, so that's really big.
Yeah, it's going to be long and wide. But it's a beautiful piece. It really is. And I really think, well, that's not one, two, three, four, five. I think this is smaller than what it looks like it's going to be. Of course, I haven't worked on it in so long. It's going to be a real adventure just starting back on it. So
yeah, reorient yourself.
Yes, and keep all the needles on the right thing and stuff like that. But I thought I could surprise some people in guild by actually working on it. They'd be amazed. As I'm looking down,
Yeah.
like being rude, I don't mean to turn my head funny there. I had everything organized to a point. So
If you're watching and you're in our guild, let us know if you've finished this project down below. If you're still working on it, we would love to see your progress as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that got it finished, I think. And I'm probably one of the few that still got it sitting halfway, well, not even halfway. But it was my first time working with silk also. And so people have told me if you run out, they may still actually have the silk. So that's good.
Back dye lot and everything else, because that might be hard.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry about bending over, folks. I apologize. I had it organized somewhat.
So I have a new restart and a new start. So my new restart is the Heaven and Earth design, the Shell Maiden. And I got 300 stitches in. So I downloaded Pattern Keeper and I started to use that, which so Pattern Keeper, if you have a digital file, you can download your file into the program on an Android tablet only for now. And it will sort of chart your progress, and you can select symbols, so it'll tell you what color you should be using. And it really just streamlines the entire process. And for Heaven and Earth design, it's compatible with those. And to have 236 colors and have to search through 5 pages to find what a symbol is, having Pattern Keeper was a game changer for me. And I'm going to show you these 300 stitches, and they're going to look like nothing. So this is on, I believe it's 28 count mystery linen. And here are my 300 stitches. You can see my needle minder is literally bigger than this.
Good gracious.
Yeah, so I'm using a magnifying glass, and I'm only doing a half cross with 2 strands. And so I think that's helping me to go a lot faster. I'm parking my thread so I don't have to keep taking it off, but that also means I need a lot of needles. One thing about the Pattern Keeper app is it will you can mark where you've parked your thread, so you don't have to remember that this is 224 or whatever color it is. The app will show you based on the count exactly what color, so you can pick up a lot easier. And I kind of wanted to show you how little progress I got. Pattern Keeper says that I've done 300 stitches is 0.08% complete for this pattern. So the pattern I have is over 300 and I think 38,000 stitches total. And when you look at the pattern, you don't think that it's really that big. Like, okay, it's 69 pages of actual pattern, but you're like, oh, that's fine. Like, I'll whip through it. But then you open your fabric, and then you have 300 stitches.
Yep.
And so
yep.
when that all twisted up and out of the way, I was like, oh, I'm making so much progress. And then of course I took it off the stand to work on my canvas piece, and I showed Sean, and then all of this dropped, and I was like, oh my God. So I calculated, of course, so I have a PhD and I'm an academic at heart and a data analyst. So of course I calculated how much I need to get 1%, and I need like 33,000 stitches to finish, or no, 3,300 stitches to finish 1% of this pattern. I was like, okay, 3,300.
We'll still be around, y'all. We promised to keep going so Fawn can show this in the next 5 years.
Oh my gosh, like this is
We'll
gonna
have it finished before then.
This is crazy. So I'm gonna have to set up some sort of schedule where one day a week, this is what I work on or something, just so I keep making a little bit of progress. But I know I can't make this a monogamous stitch because I would not be happy.
Yeah. You do too much other things and enjoy other needlework, and you're learning so many new things. As all our guild members say, she's just dived right in, y'all, and she just, whoa, oh, this, oh, it's like a magpie. Ooh, that's shiny. I need that. No, that's shiny. Joe always says my grandmother was like a magpie. Ooh, that's shiny. I need that for my nest.
Our friend Maria, she just posted this morning that she created a box out of fabric, and of course I commented on it, and I was like, teach me how to do this, please.
Yeah.
Everything I see, I'm just like, oh, I can learn that. That could be fun. So yeah, anyway. 3,300 stitches, 1%.
I've got an HEAD, Heaven and Earth, Heaven and Earth design I picked up at a retreat. Somebody was just giving it away, and I found it the other day. And what I liked about it, it's like a Hawaiian looking, it's oranges and stuff. And I thought, I know I'm probably never going to do this. So when you get further along in this, maybe I'll just all it is the pattern. It's not any floss or anything like that, but I thought of you.
Maybe, I don't know. This might be my one that I do from them.
Well,
and never venture it.
Yeah, we can always put this other one in our garage sale when we get around to having it.
Yeah. I'll look at it, see how much I love it. But I was talking on yesterday, this might be the only Heaven and Earth for me.
I don't blame you. I mean, it'll be a lifetime accomplishment to finish those things. I've seen people working on them at retreats, and I mean, it takes a lot of time and energy.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be worth it, but the process is going to be tedious.
Right. Well, 10 minutes a day or something.
Yep,
or
exactly.
every other day.
Yeah. Yep. So then I have another new start. So if you remember earlier in this video, I said that I just wanted to work on canvas because I've fallen in love and gotten really good at it. At least I think I've gotten pretty good at it recently. And so I want to keep going with it. And so this is another design from Nancy's Needle. I believe I showed you this in haul, but now I've got a bunch of stitching done. And so this is part of her floral quilt series, Pansies and Ribbons. So here's the pattern.
Ooh. Yeah.
And let's see, where's the top? I had to mark this.
Yeah.
And this is what I have so far.
Oh, nice, Fawn. That's pretty.
Yeah. And so I made one change. In her instructions, she just has the pansies as a piece of yellow pearl cotton. And I thought we needed more. And so I went through an old kit, the sunflower kit, and I pulled out gold Krynic. And so I have the yellow there. I'm not sure if it's showing up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But I also added a single French knot of the pearl cotton Krynic, or not pearl cotton Krynic, Krynic gold to each flower. And so in person, it adds so much more to the piece. And so I'm really happy that I made that executive decision.
Right. You adapted it.
Yeah, so this will be pretty big. It's a little difficult to stitch on just because the frame is so big. I think it's 14 by 14 frame. And since the other one I was using, I think was a 8 by 8 or a 10 by 10, it's just taking a little bit of getting used to. But I'm excited. I have lots of bordering to do now.
Does it hook up nicely to your new frame that you've got, your floor frame, that you can move that up or something?
Yeah, it fits well in there, but and this is TMI, but my boobs are honestly too big that and it's hitting me, and so I'm literally using them as a table so I can get closer to it so I can stitch. And maybe I'll be brave and I'll have my husband put a photo of that on Instagram. But no, that's fine for me. But I'm sure there's somebody watching this video that also has that problem. So I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's also a bad stitchy problem.
Well, and some of us, they aren't up where they used to be anymore, So.
Yeah. So now that I figured that out, I could get pretty close.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm glad you figured that one out. That's your data analysis on that one.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Welcome to our Flosstube, people. Sorry, Dad.
Oh, dear.
So then I have my finish. So if you follow on Instagram, you've probably already seen this because I was super excited. But I was working last week on From Nancy's Needle, Summer Sunflowers and Apple Trees Variation. So you probably remember this piece. And I finished it. So you can see the sparkle in the metallic.
Yeah, that shows up better that way. Yeah.
And I love it. I'm not sure how
Shines on Instagram. When you look at it on Instagram and on our Facebook page,
Yep.
I think, oh, I love how you made it wiggle. Like Marilyn said, it looks good.
Yeah, pro tip, we used a little reading light that had like a yellowish tint to it instead of a regular light.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of like grazed it over and it made everything shine so crazy.
Yeah.
So if you're on Instagram at Sanctum Stitching, go check it out. You can really see the shine there. I don't know if I want to frame this or make it into a box top for a jewelry box or something. But
might make a pretty, another thing might be a tray.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you could set it out and have it as a tray. You would put glass over that probably, but a jewelry box is a nice idea too.
Yeah, so I'll have to figure that out, but at least it's stitched and it's beautiful and I love it. And I remember when I first got this, I said that this was my least favorite of all of the ones I have, and I think I actually love this more than the pansy piece I'm currently working on. Because I got to switch colors so much, and in the pansy one, it's just one color all the way around. And now that the pansies are stitched, it's kind of like, oh, well, now it's just lots of border. The pansies are done. So it'll be fun. It's great. I love this, and I'm super excited.
Dear. Oh, dear.
So that is all of my work in progress, new starts, finishes. You said you didn't have a finish this week, right? And did you have any haul?
Did I have
Did you have any haul?
No, because I showed what Catherine had given me last week, which added to your haul.
Yes.
But no, I probably will go and think about haul this coming week after I work on the photographs for my niece and stuff. So
yeah, you're gonna go to the store, so that'll be super exciting.
Go to the stores and maybe over to Maria's house. You know, you can do haul going to Maria's sometimes too. So
I know that's true for sure.
with mask on. Yeah.
So I wanted to share my haul, which also came from Catherine, Marianne's friend, and now a friend of mine, and I'm super excited. She gave me a couple books, which I'm going to save for vintage because if you look at the dates, they are vintage. But she also gave me a couple canvas patterns. So this one is Cobblestones by Needle Delights Originals. And this is just gorgeous. But when you look at the floss list, you can see that it is going to be really intricate. So it includes a bunch of rainbow gallery, so neon rays, silk. It also includes the Caron watercolors and DMC pearl cotton. And so it's going to be a whole mix of things. And I think having them mixed will really make this piece shine and stand out. So that's exciting. My husband did try to take this one from me. He was like, oh, I could do it. And so of course, oh, well, it's got neon rays in it. So I don't know. Maybe we can find a DMP conversion for you.
Yeah.
But if you try to do it, we can both do it. It'll be fine. And then the next canvas piece she gave me is an Arabella Reborn, a counted canvas design by Michael Boren. And there's a couple different colorways. So there's this one, which is the blue, and there's a lot of specialty stitches in here, just like the other. And so I think that'll be pretty fun. And then here is a pink version.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I believe this is the one inside it tells you, I think, a bunch of different other colorways. So if you wanted it to be greens or orange or red, whatever, then you could convert the pattern into whatever color you really like. I personally am really digging this purplish blue one, but when I actually go to do it, we'll see what shows up.
Right.
And then the last thing, she gave me a couple other patterns, but I didn't want to take up too much time. By the way, Catherine, thank you so much. I was so surprised and amazed and honored that you were willing to share this stuff with Marianne and I. So again, thank you. So this next one, when I opened it, I almost cried because it is so beautiful, and I can't believe that I get to be the one to finish this piece. And so Catherine had started this pattern called And a Forest Grew, designed by Karen Kubla from Rosewood Manor. And it's a bunch of trees and birds, and there's a quote. And so Catherine had started this piece but didn't finish it. And I'm gonna finish it. And I'm actually going to, I talked to Sean, and we're gonna make it into our wedding sampler. So we got married last year and didn't, I've never stitched up a wedding piece for us. So I think instead of having the quote in the middle here, I'm gonna put something from our vows and include our names and dates. And then this will probably go above our bed. But here is what Catherine has done so far. There you go. Now you can see the whole.
Just beautiful.
And her stitching is just, it's perfect. It's
yeah.
It looks like it's one thread over two. And usually I don't stitch one thread over two, but now I might just want to, because all of her stitching, like, look at that willow tree. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. She's an excellent stitcher. Excellent.
Oxy. Try not to get it in my coffee cup as I do this.
She actually is in love with canvas work too now, and that's pretty much all she does is the canvas work.
Well, we're going to be best friends.
I think so. But that is a gorgeous piece.
Yeah, so there's not too much left to go on here. I need to plot out how I'm going to do the lettering. And so she was kind enough to also give me some letterings, some sample. Right. And I also have a couple other books of letters, so I'll just have to find what looks delicate and matches this piece. But included with this fabric, already mostly stitched, and the pattern, which is amazing, she gave me all the floss that goes with it. And excuse me. My cat just woke up. I don't know if you hear him screaming, but this is all the floss that she had that went with that kit. And I cried. I was so honored and amazed because it's all the different colors and it's all sorted properly.
Yeah.
And I really hope that when I finish this piece and stitch it up, that I do it the justice that she did and can try to match her perfect stitching. Which, if you look at the back, I don't know if she wants me to show the back, so I won't, but it looks just like the front. It's perfect. And my backs do not look just like the front. So I'm going to try really, really hard.
This will. This will. You'll be inspired.
Yeah, I'm going to be very, very mindful when I stitch it. So thank you again, Catherine. I just can't. And you said you had some vintage?
No, well, just me. I'm vintage today. The vintage is these pieces because, like I say, the one was started like in 2005. Now that's only 15 years. Vintage is 20 or over. And the other piece is 3 years old. So those are my vintages for today. I'm sorry I'm a little lax today, y'all. I just, I didn't have any handkerchiefs to show off today. I'm looking around. As you see, I'm trying to say, okay, now let's see, this is here and this is here. And the vintage is just me. So there we go. My earrings are over 20 years. There you go. There
earlier. They're
some
really
real pretty ones. We got these at I think at a botanical garden, the Crosby Festival of the Arts one year. So
wow.
There you go. That's my vintage.
Well, thanks to Catherine, I have some vintage. So I've got a couple books that I'll just go through really quickly. And it seems that Shay Pendray is becoming a staple on our channel because this is the third week in a row that we've mentioned her.
Yeah.
So this is a book. It's a book for embroiderers who wish to improve their stitching. And so it's called Stitching Towards Perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And it is from, let's see, 1989. And it's got a whole bunch of instructions for how to set up on stretcher bars or scroll frames, how to use metal threads, something about wrapping fiber on a coma, which I don't even know what a coma is, but I guess I can learn now. And so this book is just really cool. It has a lot of, I think it'll have some things that are outdated because our scroll frames now are a little bit different, the way they clamp instead of always basting on. But I think it'll still be an interesting read. And if I get any good tidbits out of it, I will definitely pass them along. I also got a let's see if I cannot butcher this, Gerda Benstensen. It's called Danish Floral Charted Designs. Yeah. And so I thought this was cute because it has the library tag for our local library. And it was in the library June 29th, 1984. And so you don't see these cards anymore.
Right.
So this book came out in 1980, and it has a lot of different patterns, so all sorts of different flowers. I'm trying to find one that's not the actual chart so I could show you.
I think you may just have to use the front.
Yeah. But all of these ones that are on the front here are actually charted on the inside. And so I was thinking a while ago, Marianne gave me the bird blanket. And so I was thinking maybe instead of putting birds in the center, I could put some different flowers instead of trying to find birds that match, because these are pretty delicate, just like those bird patterns.
So pretty. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
Then there is also the Contemporary Danish Cross-Stitch Design by the Danish Handcraft Guild. And this came out in 1982. And let's see, I think there was a couple patterns I could show in here. Or not patterns, but pictures of patterns.
Yeah. Yes. Very nice.
The style is a little bit different. Lots of monochromatic. And then let's see, let's cover, Sean and I thought this one was interesting, so I'll cover the actual chart. But
there, that's good.
Old poker in it, and looks like a clown. And it was called, it's a wall hanging called Tivoli by Ida Winokur. And so that just, it seems so different. And I guess that it really is a Danish design. But I do like how colorful it is. So I don't know that I would ever necessarily stitch it, but I did like to look at it. And then the last one is the Sampler Motif book by Brenda Keyes. And so this is from, I should have put a post-it with the dates on it. It is from 1995. So a little bit more modern than the other one I'm looking at. And this one, I believe this one had some bird designs that I also thought about for the blanket, but it had some sampler stuff. Try to find a good one.
Oh, that's nice.
So we have a tree with a really cool border, and you could see it shows you exactly how intricate that border is. And so that was called Bush with a Repeat Pattern Border. And I mean, even if you didn't like the bush, you could learn to do the border in whatever color you wanted and put some other design on the inside. So these are my vintage pieces because I finally have some vintage.
Good for you. Good for you.
See, one other thing I wanted to mention for this week is there is a stitch along coming out from Fourth Circle Studio on Etsy. She also has a Facebook page, and it's called Memories of Chaos, Witchalong. And so this is going to be Sabrina themed, so Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I believe it's going to be based on the Netflix version of it, not so much the original, more cutesy version, the Sabrina on Netflix. If you watched it, it's pretty dark. Which I like the spooky stuff and horror and all of that, so I'm really excited. This comes out on June 13th and goes until October 31st, which I guess is Sabrina's birthday, and it will have a bi-weekly release. So if you're interested and you like spooky stuff, I would definitely go check out the Fourth Circle Studio. And on her Facebook page, she also has released a couple free patterns of Sabrina, and it looks just like the Sabrina on Netflix. So I haven't seen anything that goes with the Memories of Chaos, but I still got it and I'm still excited. And yeah, so if you want to stitch it with me, I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep up with the bi-weekly, but I'm still going to get it done. If you like that and you're interested, let me know, and I would definitely like to stitch it with you. Okay. So I think that's all I have for today. Do you have anything else?
That's all I have. It's just a fun time being with everybody, and keeps my Sunday morning really going busily.
Yeah, me off the couch and not just sitting there drinking.
Yeah. So I'll try and have vintage next week. I'm sorry I kind of messed up today.
No.
One thing I did have, I can't remember. I've just remembered to remember this. I can't remember if I showed this or not before as a finish, but it's Blackbird Design, my garden fair, and Spring a Rose on the garden fair. And I got it all done. They framed it for me down at Craft Gallery, and I picked it up the same time I got my yellow snow and the walking the water's edge. But our garden is blooming. Fawn saw our columbines that are in bloom in front, and our hollyhocks are going to be enormous. We've got peonies in the back and a rhododendron tree that's over 6 feet tall. So I thought this would be a nice thing for today in my garden fair. It's got all the pretty colors, and I finished it up last fall. It took me about a month just to get it done. So that's going to be my piece at the end.
Our cover photo.
Yes, my cover photo. So anyway.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Yes.
This video might have posted Sunday, might have posted Monday, just depends on how busy I get today. But if it was posted Sunday, have a great rest of your weekend. If it was posted Monday, have a great week. Yep. And we will see you next week. So
yes. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.